What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. I'm here with the special guest, Vernon Crump, official referee, CEO of The Official. Go ahead and say something, man. Come on, man.
What's up, man?
Energy up.
What's up, Manny, man? Thanks for having me here, bro.
All right, man. Let's get it. We're going to get straight to it. I'm going to cut the music down so we go ahead and get into it. And so first, I know you was hurt. You was hurt last week when your team lost. Your team lost. This guy, he's a Duke fan. But I'm gonna finish it before I start clowning you on that a little bit. I'm gonna finish introducing you. So we sitting here with an official referee, Vernon Crump Jr. You referee high school games, correct?
Mm-hmm. Middle school and high school.
Yeah, multiple sports. You've got a chance to referee some good kids, some good competition, a few tournaments, AAU, right?
Especially at AAU, the NYTLA is the most recent one.
Okay.
You know the Adidas tournament. We got an Adidas tournament coming out this weekend that I might be at. So
yeah, so you referee good talent. You referee good talent. All right. So all right, now we going straight to the Duke and MSU game. I was personally thrilled that MSU won this game. I was excited. I didn't know. I knew it could be done, and I knew it was possible. I knew MSU had a chance from the jump, especially because I believe Zion Williamson is overrated. Yes, he's a good kid. Yes, he's talented. Yes, I understand all that, but he is a bit overrated, and it's still a big. It's a slight chance for him to be a bust. It's still a chance for him to be a bust, especially coming from your school, Duke. You know, y'all got a lot of those. Y'all got a lot of those. Y'all got a lot of busts.
A lot of schools got a lot of busts.
That's true, but Duke is a big one. Come on now, you know it. Duke is a big one. Y'all got a lot of busts. So, as a referee, we've seen games where referees have made bad calls late game, and it was a point in time in the MSU game. I believe it was before the last play. MSU, they touched the ball to go out of bounds, so it was Duke's ball.
Right.
And situations like that, you know, as audience, I'm at home watching the game. I'm not there. I'm at home watching the game. You know, and referees, y'all huddled up. Y'all just looking at the thing, the little screen the whole entire time, reviewing the play, trying to make sure y'all got it right. What is going on during that time period while we watching at home and we trying to figure out what's taking the referees so long? I just want to know what's going on.
Look, I've never been in that exact situation to where I'm not high enough to be looking back on replays in the middle of a D1 game like that.
Okay.
But from my perspective, all we're trying to do is just make sure the call is right.
That makes sense.
As simple as that. Just trying to make sure we get it right because we don't want to give one team an unfair advantage.
All right, now about the unfair advantage thing. How do you personally feel about calling fouls during the late end of the game, like when it's only about 20 seconds left and the team is just about to run the clock out and shoot a last second shot? How do you personally feel about calling a foul which can either bail the team out or give another team an unfair advantage? How do you feel about that?
It's all about being consistent. So
that makes sense.
It's all about being consistent. The game, going into the game as a referee, you do your research just like the players do. You know how the players got their scouting reports on the other team? Mm-hmm. We got our scouting reports on each team that we're about to officiate. So we know we're about to be in a competitive game, so we're going to be looking for certain things based on each game. If we got more physical play versus more like half-court play.
Okay, that makes sense.
And with that, we're going to call the game a certain way. We're going to make sure that one team, both teams, to
get
good
share of foul calls.
No, it ain't about foul. It's not just about foul calls. We're going to make sure both teams are playing the game properly and not getting the advantage over another. If you foul, you foul.
That's fine.
Period.
I respect it. You know, as a ref, you know foul calls change the game.
They do. They
change the game big time. They change it, especially when you got one player on the team that's shooting about 22 free throws. I'm not speaking high school because maybe I'm sure I ain't never seen a high school player shoot that many free throws in my life. But I'm just referring to like NBA and stuff now. Like at this point, you know, it's some players that shoot 22 free throws, 24 free throws, and it's like almost every night, and it's just ridiculous to me. In my opinion, it should not be. I mean, it can go either way. It can go either way, but it's just tough, man.
That's
point, tough.
to that point, that's on that player, that offensive player.
Yeah, that's true. That's why
is doing what he needs to do to get to the line. They driving, putting the defense in a position to where they're
I agree.
fouling.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that's on the players too. That make a big difference. That make a big difference. So all right, back to the Duke game though. Well, we talked a little bit before we start. We briefly talked about how you disagree with the play call that Coach K ran during that last.
I didn't disagree. I just kind of questioned.
From the people I've talked to and people I've spoken with, I've heard some rumors that your boy was out coached. I heard that your boy. People were saying Tom Izzo had him beat that game. They said he out coached him. And the very last play of that game, it was ran so smooth. Tom Izzo ran a smooth play, and that was, and credit to the guy passing the ball in because he made a great decision as well. But you gotta admit, what you think about that? Was your man's out coached? Coach K
Coach K and Tom Izzo are two of the greatest coaches.
Yeah, I agree with that
in history.
Yeah.
Was he out coached? I'm not in a position to say that, but was Coach K's play that he drew up executed properly? I don't think so.
That whistle really saved him. I don't think the whistle really saved him.
Yeah, I don't think the play that happened in the end of the game was exactly what Coach K drew up.
Okay, you think Zion should have got the ball?
Look, in my opinion, I'm giving it to Zion on that last play, because you're down. Was down one at that point in time? You're down one with 6 seconds left. Zion is pretty much unstoppable in the paint.
In the paint. Okay,
in the paint.
That way.
In the paint. Yep. There was a play earlier in the game where he went against 3 players.
He was
and one.
Ridiculous.
Give me that.
I was watching it. And that's part of what I mean too by like he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna hate on him and stuff like that. But he also has potential to be a bust.
You're right, because everybody does.
Yeah, that's true too. Everybody does. But as much hype as they give Zion and stuff, talking about he's the new LeBron, and all that stuff. I ain't trying to hear that. I don't be wanting to hear none of that because I'm like, college basketball and NBA basketball is two different things. In college, Zion is way bigger than everybody. So, of course, he's going to be able to just dog everybody in the paint, grab rebounds, and just dunk on anybody in the paint. So, he's going to look more NBA ready. So, when he gets to the NBA, then the other people are strong. You got centers down there that's strong, in shape, got muscle on them. They're not going to let you just bully them like that. Yeah, some of them. You might can get a small percentage of centers where you can bully them maybe, but as Zion 6'7", 6'8", it's tough that he's gonna. It's rare that a player his size is gonna be able to just bully centers and things like that. So I look at that's and I also look at it a skillful way, skill wise. Look at it skill wise. Zion, he's big and strong, but skill wise, he still has a lot to work on. He still got to get some moves. I've seen him develop over the course of the season where he's gotten more moves as time goes on and things like that. But when he gets to the league, that's also going to have to come with the extra overtime, and the work that you put in. So to me, he has potential to be a bust, of course. He is overrated, 100% about that, overrated. Media hyped this man up like no other. They hyped him up like no other, but ultimately, I said all of that just to simply say that I would have gave him the ball. I would have gave him the ball.
You would have gave him the rock, too.
I would have gave him the ball, man.
After you clowning him like that, you still going to give him the ball.
Giving him the benefit of the doubt, though. I mean, I'm giving him his credit and saying that he's a ball player and that he's good.
Yeah, he can hoop for sure.
I give him that. But I would have gave him the ball. I don't think that was the right thing to do it. And in terms of out-coaching, things like that. There were moments in the game where Coach K had the advantage. He was out coaching.
Yeah, that game swung a lot.
Oh yeah,
game. And then to Michigan State's credit, they came out with some fire.
They did.
They came out with energy. The first play of the game was a dunk, fast break dunk. The first play of the second half was the alley-oop dunk.
Oh yeah. They came out balling.
They wasn't scared.
I think they can. I honestly believe they can win it all. if they keep that same hunger that they came out with.
They're going to have to keep that energy for sure.
That's when teams go wrong, when they get to underestimating things like that. And
that might have happened to Duke.
It's possible. They probably came out underestimating MSU maybe just a little bit. Not even a lot. Probably just, didn't think they was going to come out as hard.
And then again, though, wasn't there some issues with a player right before the game for Duke, or was that the game beforehand? Was somebody not playing?
I don't really remember. I don't even remember.
That might have been been the game before. I could be mistaken, but somebody was like, Coach K, I can't play, and they're like, bro, tip off is in an hour. What you mean?
Yeah,
so like issues like that off the court, could play into
that's true.
The morale of the team for that day.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing too. All right, so for we talked about Zion, on more on the bigger side, more on the stronger side. You've been an official referee. I'm sure you had to officiate where it was one kid that was just way bigger than the others, whether he was just taller, skinny, or whatever, or taller, skinny, or whatever. So if you watching somebody and they got all these muscles and just bigger than everybody on the court, are you less likely to call a foul? Like being an official referee, are you just less likely to call a foul because you think like maybe they should be able to endure more because he's much bigger and he playing against people who's fairly smaller than him. So are you less likely to call a foul in that situation?
That's a judgment call. Well, I guess all calls is a judgment call. But if I got a bigger player and there's a smaller defender, if that smaller defender, regardless of their size, alters someone's shot or knocks the bigger dude out of position, then I'm gonna make that call because they pushed them out of position or whatever the case may be. You created a disadvantage for the offensive player. Now, granted, the defensive player is always at a disadvantage.
Oh yeah,
because you on defense. So
he's a bigger player too.
You know what I'm saying? So you're always at a little bit of a disadvantage. But that's why we're there to try to level that out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yo, I give you credit right now because you're way better than me, man. If I was a referee and somebody way bigger, I'm like, look, you're supposed to be able to endure that small, that little bump. So I give you credit for that. That would be challenging for me, and I think for a lot of people that's challenging. But then again, I feel like it's a personal thing too.
It's also something that can be learned too. It's not really that difficult. Like when you're that close to the play, it's a lot easier to know if that's true. Okay, yeah, he jacked them up on that play or not. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes
whereas like you're in the stands, you might think something's a foul or be like, there's no way that's a foul. But you weren't right on top of the play like how we are on the court with the players.
That makes sense. So, because when we at home or when like people like me are at home watching and stuff like that, sometimes we might not see all angles, but then again, the cameras, they do collect a lot. They collect
nowadays. They
collect almost everything. So they collect almost everything. So we do see a good portion of it, but then again, that's true because it doesn't compare to the on court experience. Like you right there on the court, right next. The players are right in front of you. So go ahead.
And a little common misconception with people right now is that like officiating is hard, kind of like what you said. I mean, there are difficult plays that got to be made or called, but like overall in the grand scheme of things, like if you kind of know what you're doing or you know the game, then it makes the job a little bit easier. And the camera, to your point, to catch everything, we use that to make ourselves better every day, just like the players do for film. So we go back and look at plays because you got to think about the start, develop, and finish. That some people only see like one little thing. You got to have a patient whistle and look all the way through the development of a play before you make that call.
That makes a lot of sense, man. Look at you. Being official like your brand. That makes a lot of sense. Speaking of, that just made me think too. So same thing, but kind of vice versa. Smaller guy is still about the same answer. If it's a smaller guy, and he's going up against bigger people and stuff like that, it's still kind of like the same idea of what you were saying.
Yeah, it's a similar answer. But then in that perspective, you got to take account on both ends. Really, somebody getting injured.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a bigger person is more likely to
endure the bump
and not get hurt.
Right.
Whereas like a smaller person, they could get hurt. So
that makes sense.
You got to kind of factor that into that decision too. So you can't just give a smaller person every little ticky-tack and penalize the defense for being big.
That's true.
Like, you can't just penalize them for being big, but then again, you can't let them hurt another player.
Yeah.
But you can't let a little person hurt a big dude either, because he could easily make a big dude trip or fall, and like that would be just as bad. So,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because I know I was always a smaller person, so and it's times I give credit. I'm a little more understanding now than when I did play, because I would try and draw contact. If I ain't get the foul, I'm looking at the ref like, what's going on? Your whistle broke? I'm looking at the ref like, come on now, you got to blow the whistle and things like that. So times where people are getting up off the floor, or say if you miss a call or something you may not feel is a foul, and players are getting at you and stuff about it, how do you handle those situations? Are those situations just like easy to blow off, or just easy to just keep playing and stuff like that, or is it actually like a strategy behind it, or any kind of way like that?
If I have a no call because I didn't feel that was a foul, or sometimes you might just not see it. You know, some things we might not see, whether I could potentially not be in position and not have seen the angle the best, and I'm not going to call something if like I'm not confident in that call. So sometimes there's some situations where like I didn't have a foul, and there probably should have been one, but since I wasn't in the right position, I wasn't confident enough to know for sure that was a foul or not.
Right.
You know, and then the player would get up like, bro, that was a foul. Well, you know, sorry, I wasn't on it. You know, and that's unfortunate, but that's something you learn as you officiate and you keep going. And so you think back after the game like, okay, well, you know, you just kind of think about that play. Was that a foul or whatnot? And then you just kind of move on. The game ain't going to stop because you didn't call the foul.
Yeah, you got to keep going.
We got to keep playing now.
Right.
Then again, like on the next play, if there's something similar, I'm going to be trying to pay more attention to that coming down. Because if I missed it the first time and it really was a foul, I'm going to be trying to look for that and make sure I get it right the next time.
Okay, cool. That sounds good, man. That sounds really good. So I want to go back to the Duke and MSU game. Why I have you here? Because I know you're a Duke fan, so I want to rub it in just a little bit.
All right.
I want to rub it in just a little bit. So in big games like that, some people say you shouldn't go with the hero ball, like in the last second shot, or some people say just go with the best overall open shot, especially like in like big games like that with everybody on a team is pretty effective. You got shooters on a team, you got people who can get to the hole and things like that. So some people agree that there shouldn't be hero ball. There should just be team play. I'm a person with hero ball. I'm like, if you have a best player, if you got the best player in college basketball, as some people say, or if you have a player on your team who's better than others, give him the ball, let him go to work. That's the kind of mindset I go with. Or if you have a player who's significantly better, let him score. Let him be great.
Right.
Some others go around and they might think, well, you know, this player might be good, but you know, you still got other players on the team who are effective, and they can still be effective in these late game situations. What's your personal preference on that type of situation, or where would you go with that? Like hero ball, or you just more of a whoever gets the shot, let's shoot it?
Look, I'm trying to win. Period.
I'm with you.
So if my hero isn't being a hero that night,
why
would I give them the ball? But
is that when you go to the second option? Are you gonna go to the second option?
Going to my second option.
Okay, so you still going hero.
But is he the hero?
Well, I'm saying you still picking some player on your team who's gonna be that hero.
Look, my whole team is full of heroes. That's how I'm thinking about it. I don't got nobody on the court who I don't think can produce. If I'm trying to win, I'm not putting nobody on the court who I don't think can make a bucket or get a rebound. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree. I want my best 5 on the court.
I want my best 5 on the court at that situation. And second, if I do want to go the hero route and give it to my big guy, I may still give it to the second or third guy to distract, just to get it to my big guy. Or if I know that people are expecting my hero to get the ball, I give it to him. But then they're going to be sleeping on my 4th guy, and he's going to go back door and get this lob.
Is that what you want? Oh, okay. You going to throw the lob?
It's strategy. I'm just saying, though. Like, you got to think about those things. You can use your hero. Your hero can be a hero in different ways. He don't always got to put the ball in the hole.
That makes a lot of sense. I get what you're saying. But then again, I'm not gonna go too much into it, because I guess depending on how anybody looks at it, they can turn that into like a team situation. But I get
which is kind of what I did.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a team situation. But it depends on your personnel too, though.
It does depend on my personnel. If I ain't got nobody on the squad and I just got my one, I'm like, look, bro, you gotta do something.
I put it this way. If I'm MSU and in the situation, or in the, say, Duke and MSU, the situations were swapped. End of the game, MSU was down by a point. They needed a bucket. And if I'm in that situation, I'm not doing team ball. I'm doing Cassius, give me a bucket. Especially because he was playing really.
I'm thinking the same thing
all night.
I'm
Cassius
thinking
was
the same
balling
thing.
all night.
Cassius is making great decisions with the ball.
Oh, yeah.
He putting the ball in the hole when he needs to,
and he get it up. He get the shot up.
He get the shot up,
and it may go in. He gonna get to the cup.
That's kind of like what I said at the very beginning to answer your question. Like, who's playing good that game? Like, is my hero producing that night?
Yeah.
Because Cassius was producing that night.
Because you don't. That's true. Go ahead.
Zion was producing that night too.
But he started off slow. Started off on the slower side.
But then he got his stuff together, and then he put his team on his back just like Cassius did. The only difference is Cassius won.
I know that hurt you to say that. I know that hurt you to say that.
Cassius won.
That's true. I'm glad Cassius and MSU won, man.
I mean, I support both Michigan programs.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you might end up reffing for him one day. you might call some games for, ref for. You might have to blow the whistle and stuff. I hope you don't ever have to ref a Duke in Michigan State game again. That's funny. I'm sure you would call it fair. But
I would.
I'd have trouble with that. I'd try and do the best I could. But
you gotta be unbiased, man.
It is.
Because at the end of the day, at least from my perspective as an official, I don't really care what the scoreboard says in terms of points, or really, because I'm gonna be looking at myself as
doing your job.
Was that a fair game? Did I do a good job?
Right.
Officiating that game. Was that evenly played?
Right.
That's all I really care about. Who wins or loses, we want to see. The fans want to see this team win.
You got fans on the other side too.
Yeah, and those fans want to see the other team win too. So really, who am I to be wanting another team to win versus another? I can't do that in my job.
That makes sense. Brandon, I give you credit for that, man.
Right.
I give you credit because a lot of people dog referees.
Yeah.
A lot of fans and a lot of people in general, we dog referees through all sports, football, basketball, anything. Umpires, we dog them because sometimes we disagree with the calls, and that's a lot of stuff to handle. That's a lot of pressure to handle. So I give you credit for that, man.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I 100% give you credit because I'm sure you've endured situations where fans were going crazy and you blew that whistle and it changed to another game.
Hey, but those hype games though, those big games, those are the games that you would love to officiate because they mean something. Yeah. Whereas sometimes, not to knock other types of games, but a little middle school game where you got 5 parents in the stands and the kids don't even really want to hoop there anyway. They don't really mean as much, and saying, so you get fulfillment doing all of those big games. When you make a call like that and you're strong with it and confident, it's like, I don't know. It's a whole. It's like being a third. It's the third team on the court.
It's
exciting, bro. So more people need to try and get into it.
Yeah, I bet if you're an honest person,
right?
If you're an honest person,
unbiased.
If you're unbiased to any team, or if you know you can be unbiased, then it would be a good fit. But me personally, man, I stick to talking about it. I stick to talking about it, and as much as I talk over here, I don't say so many things about one team. People just go automatically assume, nah, he's biased toward this team. He don't like that team.
People ain't never did it before. Always got something to say.
Hey, that's facts though. That's facts. That's true.